Hello and welcome to my channel. Despite of great success in machine learning, in many fields, it's very hard for novices or beginner users to effectively apply machine learning models. They need to decide between dozens of available ML algorithms and pre-processing methods and tune the hyperparameters of the selected approaches. Well, I've came up with an amazing solution which will tackle all this. I'll be dealing and experimenting with AutoScaLearn in this video, which will discover top performing models and deliver us the best and generalized model for our task. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. In this video, we'll be dealing with the classification task, dealing with heart failure dataset, which is quite famous dataset available on Kaggle. The data consists of various medical terms which may directly or indirectly contributing towards the chances of a heart failure in patients. We have our dependent variables such as death event, which has values as 0 and 1, which denotes whether the patient suffered from heart failure or not, and also various independent variables such as age, gender, platelets, count of patients, and various such medical terms. Now in this video, we'll be dealing with basic pre-processing and visuals, finally followed by using AutoScaler, which will choose the best model for our classification task. We will start off by importing the important libraries such as importing NumPy as NP, Pandas as PD, Seaborn, Matplotlib, and also we'll import train test platform from sklearn.model selection, which will be required to split our data in training and testing in future. So let's execute this. Now here we'll read our data using pd.readcsv and the file path in which we have saved our data, and we'll execute df.head to display our data. Coming towards our data, we have various independent variables such as age, anemia, creatinine phosphokinase, diabetes, ejection fraction, high blood pressure, platelets, and various such medical terms. And finally, our target variable death event, which will be 0 and 1. Now, before dealing with any data sets, it's important to see whether we have null values present in our data. So for that purpose, we'll execute df.isNull.sum. And we can see we don't have any null values present in our data, so that we can proceed further. Now we will quickly take our target variable death event from our data frame and will plot an histogram. We can see that our target variable is bit imbalanced, with safe predictions having count around 200 while unsafe people have count of around 90, which is indeed a case of imbalanced data which needs to be rectified, because it will be affecting accuracy, which will result a case of overfitting a model, causing our model to be trained more on majority classes and less on minority roles. So how can we treat the imbalanced data set? So here we'll be using upsampling approach. We'll be increasing the count of minority classes and meeting the count of majority samples. Now for upsampling, what we'll do is import resample from sklearn.utilist, and what we'll do here is we'll separate our target variable. So if death event value is 0, we'll save that data points in save data frame, and if death event value is 1, we'll save the data points in unsaved data frame. Now let's see how our saved data frame looks like. And we can see that all the data points whose values, the target variable values are 0, are saved in our saved data frame. Now what we'll do is we'll import resample. We'll use this function resample, which we imported from sklearn. We'll pass the unsafe data frame over here. We'll keep replace is equal to true, and n samples is equal to length of saved data frame. That is, we want to match the data points from unsaved data frame similar as length of saved data frame, and we'll also keep random state as 33 and save all this in separate data frame, say upsampled. We'll execute this. Since we already have the values of unsaved data frame in our upsample data set, we'll also concat saved data frame values in our upsampled by using pd.concat save and upsampled. Now when we find value counts of the upsample, we can see 1 and 0, both our target values have same number of data points as 203 and 203. Now what we'll do is quickly plot a histogram of the target variables from our upsample data set. Let's execute this. And we can see that our imbalance problem has been resolved as both the target labels have same values. Now once we are done resolving the problem of imbalanced data, we'll quickly plot a heat map to see whether we have any major problem of multicollinearity. We'll be using SNS, that is cbond.heatmap, and our upsample dataset and plotting the correlation. We'll execute this. Basically, heat map will give us a visual about how the features are correlated with each other and the target variable. So what intuitions can we extract from this? We can see that the death event looks to be highly correlated with the serum creatinine and age, and also survival event looks highly correlated with time and ejection fraction. And finally, gender and smoking have the least correlation with death event, so we can consider dropping these features in future as they will not be contributing much towards the results. Now what we'll do here is we'll separate our data into dependent and independent variables. So in X, we'll be adding all our independent features except this target variable, and in Y, we'll be adding our target label, and we'll execute this. Now in next step over here we'll be splitting our data into train and test data. So we'll use train test split which we imported earlier from sklearn.model selection. We'll pass on our x values, y values, our test size as 0.20. That means our training data will be 80% while the test data will be 20% and random state as 33. Now let's quickly print the values of our training set and our test set. So we can see that our 402 data points are splitted as 324 training shape and 82 as testing set. Now finally it's time to train our model using AutoSKLearn. So firstly let's understand what exactly is AutoSKLearn library. AutoSKLearn is an open source library for performing AutoML in Python. It makes use of popular scikit-learn machine learning library for data transformation and machine learning algorithms and uses Bayesian optimization. So depending on whatever your prediction task is whether classification or regression, you create and configure an instance, the AutoSKLearn classifier or AutoSKLearn regressor class, fit it on your data set, and that's it. The resulting model then can be used to make predictions. So I would recommend to go through the AutoSKLearn documentary to get a brief glance about it. Now firstly, we'll start downloading the dependencies by executing pip install AutoSKLearn. This will download all the required dependencies. So this will take about 3 to 4 minutes for downloading. Now once we are done downloading the dependencies, we'll import AutoSKLearn classifier from AutoSKLearn.classification. Now in case you're dealing with a regression task, you need to import AutoSKLearn.regression. Now coming towards an important step, we'll be initializing our AutoSKLearn classification model. We'll create a data frame, say CLF, in which we'll execute AutoSKLearn classifier with the hyperparameter as time left for the task is equal to 300. So basically time left for the task is the time limit in seconds for search of appropriate models. By increasing this value, AutoSKLearn learn has higher chance of finding a better models. We'll also assign per run time limit as 9. So this is basically a time limit for a single call to machine learning model. The model fitting will be terminated if the machine learning algorithm runs over this time limit. Now finally, we'll also mention the sample size, ensemble size as 1, which is actually optional, which represents number of models added to ensemble built by the ensemble section. After initializing our model, we'll use this model for fitting. We'll use clf.fit xtrain and ytrain. So when we fit our model on our data, AutoSKLearn will test our data on number of machine learning models and will select the most generalized model which suits best for our data. Isn't it amazing? After fitting our model on our data, now it's time to see what is the training and testing score of our model. So we'll execute clf.score xtrain and ytrain to see the training score and clf.score xtest and ytest to see the testing score. We'll execute them quickly and we can see that our model is trained very well on the training data having a value of 0.9845, but we can see that our model is slightly overfitted in testing as it scored 0.84. We can get more generalized model by increasing the values of hyperparameters a little bit, which will enable the auto-scaler model to search for other better models than the current one. As we are done with our training part, let's have a look towards the evaluation part now. We'll quickly import confusion matrix and accuracy score from sklearn.metrics and use our model to generate predictions for our test set. We will execute clf.predict and our test set and save in variable say ypred. We'll just execute this. Firstly, plotting a confusion matrix will pass the values of ypred and ytest to generate our confusion matrix and save in conf matrix. Now, we'll plot this confusion matrix using heat map generated by Seaborn SNS and we'll pass our confusion matrix here. Let's execute this. Coming towards our confusion matrix, we can see 47 true positives and 22 true negatives are the values correctly predicted by our model, while 13 values are predicted wrong, where 5 are the false positives and 8 are the false negatives. Now, we'll be extracting individual values of true negative, false positive, true positive, and false negative from our confusion matrix and save them in separate variables. And finally, we'll add these values in variable say total, in which we'll add true negative, false positive, true positive, and false negative. And also we'll prepare separate variables such as real positives and real negatives, in which we'll add true positive plus false negative. And in real negatives, we'll add true negative plus false positive. Now, we have separate models for extracting accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score using scikit-learn libraries. But we here will be extracting the values of all these evaluation metrics from scratch so as to revise some concepts. Coming towards the accuracy, we know accuracy is calculated based on total correct values predicted divided by overall total values. So we'll be taking a sum of our true positive plus true negative divided by the total value and we'll be calculating our accuracy. Now coming towards precision, we know that precision is a ratio between true positive and all the positive known as positive prediction value. Hence we'll be taking a ratio of our true positive divided by the sum of our true positive plus false positive. Now talking about recall, recall is a measure of our model correctly identified true positives. It's basically a measure of how accurately our model is able to identify the relevant data, and we also refer recall as sensitivity of true or true positive rate. We will calculate recall by taking a ratio of true positive divided by the sum of true positive plus false negative. Now, as you know what is the precision and recall, you can also understand what does the F1 score mean as well. F1 score is basically a balance between precision and recall. It can be called as a harmonic mean of precision and recall as well. And a perfect model has a F1 score of 1. Now we will calculate F1 score by dividing the value of twice the product of precision and recall, dividing by the sum of precision plus recall. Well, as we are done with calculating our evaluation matrix, now it's time to print them. So we'll simply print all our evaluation matrix such as accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score. And we can see the all values are presented over here. Well, this was all from my side. Hope this video served helpful for you guys. Do like my video. This motivates me to bring more such amazing content with you all. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe my channel and press that bell icon to get the latest update of my videos. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, take care, and bye bye.